Where are we with Frankie De Jong?
This is the saga of the summer now as far as Manchester United are concerned. There is still a feeling, though, that a deal can be done for Frankie De Jong, the Barcelona midfielder. And for all the public utterances of the Barcelona president, Joan Laporta, and the manager, Xavi, Manchester United remain comfortable in their position. They have a broad agreement, they feel, with Barcelona worth £72 million, including add-ons. Now, I mentioned those public utterances. Joan Laporta, the president, said this over the weekend: Frankie De Jong is our player. We received some offers, but we don't accept as of now. We want to talk to him and clarify some areas of his situation. Then Xavi left him on the bench in the El Clasico game out in the States and brought him on in the second half as a central defender. And he was asked the question, are you trying to send a message to Frankie De Jong? And Xavi said this: I don't send messages. I like him a lot. He can bring us a lot at centre-back. There is, though, also the economic situation and fair play. So let's have a look at those two situations first of all. The economic situation with regard to Frankie De Jong all dates back to the pandemic, when he and a lot of the Barcelona squad took pay cuts. And so their wages were deferred. And it's thought that Frankie De Jong is now owed between 14 and 17 million pounds. Are Barcelona playing a game here? Are they trying to make it out that they want to keep Frankie De Jong so that Manchester United may change their offer to somewhat offset some of the wages that they owe Frankie De Jong? Because whether Frankie De Jong stays at Barcelona or leaves Barcelona, he is due this money regardless. The other issue is the centre-back situation. So Manchester United want to bring him in as a central midfielder. He's been playing throughout his career as a central midfielder, and then Xavi decides to bring him on as a centre-back and says he can bring a lot in that position. And it's since emerged that Barcelona are rivaling Chelsea to try and sign Sevilla's Jules Koundé. So even though they're saying all the right things with regard to Frankie De Jong, we want him to stay, he's a key player for us, everything that they're doing seems to be the opposite and seems to be a way of trying to force Frankie De Jong out of Barcelona. But Frankie De Jong is stuck in the middle here because he doesn't want to move until he has these deferred wages issues sorted out, because he's owed this money. Now, as you mentioned at the top of the show, August the 1st is around the corner. We'll be a month away soon from the end of this transfer window. Manchester United, make no mistake about it, their priority is central midfield, and their number one priority has been Frankie De Jong. But even though that is the case, they will, I'm sure, privately have their own deadline, because they can't let this drag on until deadline day. And if come deadline day, De Jong ends up staying at Barcelona, they won't have filled the priority position. So I'm sure that they will have other targets. But for now, they are continuing to pursue Frankie De Jong, and the feeling is all of the obstacles stopping any kind of move happening is coming from the Barcelona end, not the Manchester United end.
As you said there, they will have other targets, maybe backup just in case they don't get him, and other areas as well, you'd have to think.
Yeah, from the outset of this transfer window, we were told that two of the biggest priorities were central midfield and the forward line. Now, they've actually made signings, but Christian Eriksen, you could argue, yes, in midfield, but they wanted to bring another holding midfielder in and someone across the forward line.
Yeah, we were just talking in the studio, and John was saying about when Amram first came in, he was the player he was most excited about playing or training with. And it's taken them this long to get him fit, but he shows the quality that he's got, and he adds something different that United have missed for most of the season. So having that strong squad back available is brilliant. It means obviously there'll be some disappointed people. But Tottenham have their squad back as well. They're as strong as everything, so it makes for a really good final.
Yeah, it's great. And like, we have to give credit as well to Ruben Amorim and making the changes when he did. You know, he wasn't happy what was going on. He made the changes, and straight away, you know, we saw impact, John.
Yeah, listen, Gary mentioned it. I think it was you, Gary. They tried a little tight pass again. The game's on a kind of tender edge, tender hooks, and then brilliant, make the decisions. But that intensity already. Listen, Ahmed comes on, speed. Defenders are backing off. Obviously, Richard mentioned Mason Mount gets a bit more space because of that. Defenders are backing off. Quality finish. And listen, strength and depth is needed all throughout the season, but especially when you have a final. That's what I mentioned. He's not at the level of Lamine Yamal, don't get me wrong, but he's having that impact for Manchester United, and that's the thing. The players are all looking for him as soon as he comes on the pitch. They want to give him the ball. It's not the case with some of the other players.
The volume in the ground just went up as soon as he got the ball, didn't it? The excitement. You could tell that something was going to happen with him, and fantastic.
When you compare him and Garnacho, it's like Garnacho and him have the same sort of attributes. And this might sound really bad, but Garnacho looks like he doesn't know what's going to happen next. Whereas Diallo was in full control of what he's doing. Yeah. He knows exactly where he wants to go, where's his pass, what's his options all the time. And another player who's been missing for long periods of the season, but coming back just at the right time.
Do Mount and Diallo both start in the final, John?
I think the manager will find it very hard not to. But I think it's that balance of the game changers for him and how the game's going to approach. I think that'll be a key, because if you're thinking, right, do I bring a Garnacho on to get me back in the game or win the game, or do I bring an Ahmed on to win me the game? So
it's all about having that impact. You almost need to have that impact off the bench, and only certain players, not all players, can do that.
You have players now that they're termed closers, aren't they, in terms of seeing out the game, whether it's protecting it or something. And this could go a long way. That Tottenham have had the better of United, but this is a United team